Good morning. On top of yet another mountain, early morning trail run. It's probably only like 6 o'clock right now, I'm just guessing. Really nice. I love getting up early, which to most people that sounds like a death sentence. But to me, I dig it. And I can say that it has, I didn't really understand why getting up early helped me so much. And there's probably a whole multitude of reasons. Because, I mean, I find myself that I have much more creativity. I have much more, well, actually, my energy now that I've really dialed in my lifestyle and have been living in balance for the most part for a little while, actually quite some time. That definitely helps me to maintain a sustained energy throughout the day. But a lot of it is getting neurotransmitters and hormones back in line. And that can be a lot of the reason that people don't feel good. And kind of the premise of today's video, try to keep it relatively short, is probably geared, I'm going to gear this one mostly toward people who are dealing with depression. Now, what I'm going to say is not by any means a way of like getting rid of depression, so to speak, because depression itself is a very multifaceted issue, and it can come from a whole range of things. Everything from lifestyle to environment to genetics to diet to, I mean, you could say overall outlook on the world, but you know, it's kind of one of those things of which came first, the chicken or the egg. So it's just all of those things I just mentioned thrown together in one big soup. And depression also can range from somebody who is very manic or bipolar to all the way down to you're just an asshole and you're feeling bad because you're not doing things with your life that you need to be doing. You have not made amends for things that you should, and it's subconsciously or consciously just eating at you. But for what I'm going to talk about right now is, maybe more of what would be considered the chemically unbalanced. So we'll look specifically at serotonin, and serotonin is a neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitters, they basically they're different from hormones, because hormones are actually chemical messengers. They'll actually enter into the bloodstream and go all over the place. But neurotransmitters, they basically hit a nerve, and when they hit the nerve, you get an electrical impulse. Well, one of the reasons that somebody can be feeling out of balance is due to serotonin being being off in the body. And serotonin, being a neurotransmitter, most people are unaware that serotonin is, I believe all of it, don't quote me on this, I'm on a mountain, I don't have any way of looking this up, but I believe that all serotonin is manufactured in the gut. And the gut specifically, what I'm talking about is the small intestinal tracts. You have like little patches, so your serotonin is manufactured in there, and then it takes off and does what it does. And there's a lot of research that I've been just stumbling upon that shows that the vast majority of your serotonin gets produced in the morning. So this is once again circadian rhythms, your body's biological rhythms. They're having a lot to do, actually damn near everything to do with how you feel, how you look, it's very, very important, because anytime, regardless of what type of lifestyle you're leading, whatever your beliefs or truths about diet that you may have, you always want to use Mother Nature as a backbone. And what do I mean by that? It's, what did we do in our evolution? And I want to leave food completely out of this one. I know that it's hard to isolate specific things within a lifestyle, but I'm not here to like debate diet, because I've kind of fallen off of that track of, well, not really a track, but I don't have the desire to like force my beliefs upon people, because humans have lived on damn near everything that you can think of, and their environment has a lot to do with that. And furthermore, it's only been in, electricity's only existed for 115 years at this point. So before that, you truly ate a seasonal diet, and a seasonal diet was defined as what grows within your region. I mean, yeah, people would get certain things like coffee and, tea and spices, which grow in other places, but they weren't up in Canada eating bananas when, on January 1st, because bananas obviously don't grow in Canada. But I digress. So let's get back to getting up early in the morning. When we get up early, it seems that most of our serotonin gets produced then, and that's because normally, we'd be starting our day, and typically, if we look at when people would typically get up, it's probably between 5 and 7, and conveniently enough, that's when our nightly processes start to shut down, and our get your day started processes begin, such as like cortisol release and leptin and ghrelin and all that good stuff. So, and when I say this, I'm using 5 to 7 as reference points. Obviously, our bodies are not on specifically a mechanical time, because mechanical time is human created. So I'm just using those. Those are just merely reference points. I'm not saying that at 7 o'clock exactly your body does this. So if the point that I'm trying to get to, because I'm just kind of having fun looking at this awesome scenery, the point I'm trying to get at is that if you're struggling with depression, if your sleep is in the tank, you may want to try getting up. Well, not try. Let's do this. Let's stop trying things and doing things instead. You may want to just get up earlier in the morning. So just, I mean, it's great to not get up to an alarm clock, but if you're truly struggling with depression and you think that you have a whole bunch of things in line, but you can't figure out why you're not feeling better, get up, set your alarm for 6 a.m. Just, I mean, yeah, that's pretty neutral, because depending upon when you watch this video, 6 a.m. the sun might just be coming up, or it might be still a little bit dark. I know it is in my area at that time during the winter, but that's a pretty neutral time period there. So you get up early and just force yourself to do that, because if you can get yourself to kind of sync up with the sun, you'll eventually start to get tired when the sun goes down, hopefully, and or at least, say you live in a region like myself where the sun can go down at 4:30 in the during the winter time. For some of you northern folks, it's obviously a lot earlier than that. But just getting yourself synced up with the sun, using Mother Nature as a backbone. Before we had alarm clocks, before we had any distractions, we kind of got up with the sun, and we wanted to sleep when the sun went down. And yeah, there's just do your best to sync yourself up with the sun, and do that for a number of months. If you have distractions when you are sleeping, get them out, or do your best to get them out. Or if you're really in a tough spot, do your best to move. I know that that's not something that the vast majority of us could just pick up and take off, but a lot of times our beliefs, our fears hold us back, and we purposely keep ourselves in uncomfortable situations. So if you can do anything that you can to make your sleeping situation, your living situations better, so that you can, your body just needs a chance to repair itself. It needs to be synced up with the sun, and that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, oh yeah, that's a cool topic. I'll just talk about this and then I'll end the video, or you can just shut it off now. I got to the point. My original point of the video was to get up early so that you can start to set up your circadian rhythms, so that your hormones, your neurotransmitters, especially the serotonin, gets better. You may find that you start to digest better. That your intestinal tract is not just a tube, as some people in certain communities want you to believe, that it's just this pipe that stuff goes through. It's your second brain. It's a computer. It's pretty cool. But okay, my closing thing that I'll go on which is sort of off topic, is that there has been an article, it's been in circulation for probably about a year and a half now, talking about how original humans didn't sleep like we do, and they didn't do this solid 8-hour, and that people would get up in the middle of the night and they'd go sit by the fire, or they'd write poetry, or they'd meditate, or they'd paint, or they'd do some sort of activity for an hour or two and they go back to sleep. I don't believe that that really applies to modern humans. And my reasons are that if you look at what the time frames, if we're talking about people that go to sleep when the sun goes down, or within an hour or two of that, they went to sleep and then they get up in the middle of the night, they do some things, and then they go back to sleep. And what some of those articles fail to point out is that those people were still devoting 10 to 12 hours for that entire time period. So they are probably still getting a substantial amount of sleep. There's obviously always outliers, but you also have to take into account that modern humans did not live in a world filled with things that are constantly challenging our physiology. Those things didn't exist. They didn't have Wi-Fi and all those good things. So which do have an impact upon our physiology, whether we realize it or not. And there's legit science coming out more and more by people far smarter than myself that are starting to show this. So it's cool in a way, but it's scary in a way, because think about this. We've only had I think smartphones have only been available to the consumer since 2007, and now everybody has them and they're holding them to their head. And there was one researcher whose name escapes me at this point, but showed that glucose metabolism within the brain would increase while they were testing via functional MRI, and they could see that the blood glucose was activity was well, let's just say I don't know if metabolism of the brain is correct in saying, but basically there was a lot more activity on the side that people were holding their cell phones to than when their cell phone was not there. So it does have an impact. It's not like it just directly grows tumors. It's more of an endocrine disruption, and we are surrounded by it all the time. But anyways, cool. I'm gonna enjoy the view and stop playing with my camera. So go out there, have some fun, educate yourself, question yourself, find people, if you have beliefs in certain subjects, find people who are actually very well educated and have devoted their lives to those subjects, and see what their opinions are, both for and against. That's my PSA for the day, along with my video that was supposed to be like 3 minutes long. But hey, what the hell, have some fun. Oh yeah, like, comment, subscribe.